Hello friend, welcome my YouTube channel, A Bachelor of Science English Literature. First treatment of nature and humanity. Robert Frost has been called the interpreter of New England, but he might also be called the interpreter of nature and humanity as a whole, for his poetry show that he is a close observer of both nature and people, and that he portray their fundamental elements. Possibly it is because his poetry is so basic that the critics can't accept it as such and continue to seek some dark and hidden meaning. And as a result, sometimes desert the real meaning. First write lyric, fantasies, and character portrayals and always use meter, but it is a very flexible meter conversation in tone. He used colloquialisms rather than direct poetry, the New England. Most criticisms of Frost result in journal commentary on his classic poem like Mending Wall and the Death of the Hired Man. Frost used nature to a great extent in his poetry, and of course, it is the nature of New England. Through his close observations of nature, Frost show his deep love for it but never come right out and sing it phrase. He always portrayed nature in a friendly light, never saying it is anything cruel. His descriptions tend to be earthy and of the soil, and yet he sometimes reaches high aesthetic peaks, particularly in the death of the hired man. In his lyric and fantasies, Frost showed in his interest in nature throughout his poem. The season, flower, fruit, the moon, and the star, the sky, animal, and particularly in rural scenes. In his character poetry, he used nature set of his character. His characters are usually rural, anyway their background being that of rural New England. His descriptions are not just pretty pictures, but then of the soil. He usually rural anyway their background being that rural New England. His descriptions are not just pretty pictures, but then of the soul. He showed what he has observed of human life, almost are glorifications of the commonplace for he would rather be just a plain New Hampshire farmer, not afraid of nature, nor are one away from it either, and it is the setting of the New Hampshire farmer, particularly and the New England frame in general, that he portrays with so much realism. First is also an interest observe people, and as a result, there is a greater thread of humanity running throughout his poetry. He has a deep interest in people and their trouble, has seen in his character poetry, for he is always sympathetic toward people, never caustic, bitter, or harsh. He was an excellent power of creating characters that finally breathed because of their superb characterization in this lyric and fantastic. Faust also show his human interest, for he is sad to find desert house and any lessening of the populations. He wants life to go on and he is a perfectly content just to be an interest spectators watching live drive by. We have now seen first use of nature and humanity in journal, but there is also suggestions of a friendly rivalry between nature. And man in his poetry, nature is never poetry of being. Ways against man are working against man at all time, but there is an interplay between man and nature which more or less amount to the reactions of the people of nature's process. Some peoples are afraid of nature's, but forced would here to be that, as he say in New Hampshire in fall. Work three main themes regarding this question of nature versus humanity are seen. The first is that of the mountains encroach on the terrain of man, making their bases larger and larger as they grow older, thus taking more land away from the village surrounding them. Then there is the theme of man reactions to the elements of rain, snow, storm, etc. First seem to think that such things in our natures are not meant as cruelers to mankind, but rather just as a reminder to man that he is not all things. He is that he is not the lost word. It is the nature saying to man, "What do you think you are?" And lastly, there is the elfishness of nature as seen in the way it you are, and lastly, there is the elegance of nature as seen in the way it doesn't. It was little thing that hindered man from doing what he wanted to do. To conclude, Robert Frost's poetry is a blend of a realistic portrayal of New England natures and humanity, with more emphasis on external nature, which in the last analysis is more permanent and can still interfere with man's highly machined world.